Fuck. Neuronymous.
Hey, boys and girls, this is another episode of Neuronymous. Hello, my fellow neurotics. This is going to be a short one, and I actually do mean it this time. It's actually going to be a short one. You know, I've been through a few interviews with a lot of comedians, and the biggest thing I feel like I've taken away is the fact that most of them think I'm a narcissist. In fact, my last interview with Ali Sultan point blank said I'm a narcissist. Well, I have to make an announcement. I'm a fucking narcissist. Jesus Christ, people. I have my own podcast. It's called Neuronymous. The neuron for neurotic. You know who people, neurotic people are? They're narcissists a lot of the times, and the anonymous is for people who are, for those that are anonymous in 12-step groups. So yeah, I am a narcissist. I have my own fucking show. It's called Neuronymous, and I'm kind of getting a little tired of people thinking, oh, you're so self-centered and solipsistic and all this bullshit. I started the show because I wanted to help people, and the thing is, by having people that I interview come on the show, it's not me just being like, oh, I want to talk about me all the time. No, it's to bounce my brain against my interviewee, okay? It's not about when I interview you, it's not about you. It's about me. It's just the way it is. It's about me trying to communicate with you and trying to figure myself out by bouncing, by bringing two minds together and finding out where I stand in the grand scheme of things, and what my reactions are, what my take on life is versus yours. Okay, if that makes me a narcissist, sure, okay, fine, I'm a narcissist. That's the way it is. But yeah, I kind of resent it when somebody told me that I should include the guest in the conversation more. Well, guess what? You're being interviewed. I asked you on the show, and then and the thing is, yeah, it's not really an interview. It's a conversation, and you know what? When I talk, guess who I know most about, and when I have a conversation, guess whose worldview I know most about? Mine, my worldview. Okay. So, making me seem like a piece of shit for, talking about myself, guess what? I talk about myself. I talk about myself a lot. And the purpose of that isn't to be to be look at me, I've got a podcast. No, it's to say, you know what, I am who I am, and there are a lot of people out there like me, who are addicts, alcoholics, people who have participated in self-harm, have had suicidal thoughts, have depression, have bipolar 2, not comma TOO, but actually bipolar numeral 2. People who have obsessive compulsive disorder. All of those I have, okay? So this isn't going to be your average show where I'm going to be saying, oh, hey, guess what? You have a new album out. That's awesome. That's great. I mean, we'll talk about it. That's part of the show. I mean, because you are my guest and I want people to know who you are. But and yes, I do talk about my parents a lot. Because here's the thing, my parents kind of shaped me to be, who I am today. I mean, I'm a mess, but at the same time, I would like to think I'm a beautiful mess. But if that's if that's not what you're into, this show's fucking not for you, man. This show's not for you. And I love my listeners. I love them and I trust them, and they're And that last episode, man, Ali, I really enjoy you. You were very nice to come on the show finally, but I don't know. I kind of felt like you were there's a little bit of arrogance, like you were playing with your phone while I was trying to talk to you, and I'll tell you what. I do that a lot with my wife, and guess what? She likes it about as much as I do. So anyway, but no. That being said, I was very grateful to have Ali Sultan on the show. However, he really took issue with me, like comparing him to Yakov Smirnoff. I mean, Yakov Smirnoff, yeah, you don't hear about him as much anymore. I mean, the Cold War ended. But, at the same time, I mean, the guy's got his own, theater, I mean, he's not like a shitty comic. He's actually a pretty gifted comic, and he's actually just recently got his doctorate in, I think, psychology and something else. I can't remember what it is, but, yeah, I just, this is my show. Take it or leave it, and, I'm just flabbergasted that people, are just so shocked that I talk about myself so much. I mean, who else am I going to talk about? I mean, I've got a lot of shit going on in my life. I mean, I identify as bisexual. I talk a lot about that. Being part of the LGBTQ community, I feel like a complete fucking outsider still. I don't feel like I belong. I would like that to change. Hopefully, when Pride occurs, Pride weekend occurs, or Pride week. Is it a week? Is it a weekend? I don't know. But like honestly, I feel like I'm an outsider of people who are a minority, and and like I said, there was a period of time recently where I was just like, am I gay? Am I bisexual? What's the deal? Well, I'm bisexual. I am. I know that I'm attracted to women. I know I'm attracted to men. That's it. But again, I just wanted to do a quick episode that basically just says, this is me. Okay? I am who I am. I talk about myself. This is my show, and I'm doing the best I can. This, when I started this little podcast, I had absolutely no idea what it was going to be about. I just wanted to be Mark Maron, and maybe to a certain extent, I am cranky and I'm neurotic, but I'm not Mark Maron. I am Hal, and I have my own distinctive voice. And and I talk about what's going on in my life, and I try to interact with other people, which is very hard for me a lot of the times. I get I had practically a whole anxiety attack when when I was going to go talk to Ali. When I talk to anybody, I have a lot of anxiety because I'm not used to talking to people that I don't know. So, I mean, even that episode with Kim Barthel, which was one of my favorites because my wife was part of it, but the thing is, I don't know jack shit about occupational therapy, so, I had to have, I brought on somebody that I know does know jack shit about occupational therapy, which is my wife, and she is, as to be completely frank, an extension of me, I'd say at this point. She's her own person, but she's an extension of my whole persona, who I am. But anyway, I really am not trying to go on a ramble. I just, like I said, I have my listeners. And no, I don't just have 2 listeners, because that's another thing that kind of burned me a little bit. And, it was okay. I told him it was fine to roast me, Mr. Sultan. But I have more than 2 listeners. I've actually got 44 listeners, or at least followers. I've got people who download it all the way all over the world. So yeah, clearly I'm doing something right. I don't know, but we're all in this together. There's really no reason for me to have to do an episode like this where people, where I have to like explain myself. It's called Anonymous for a reason. Okay, I'm a neurotic Jewish guy who's cranky, doesn't have the best people skills, though I work in customer service for the Monolith, and I just I am a hot mess, and I lay my soul to bear for you guys, and I do it one day at a time.
Narcissist.